All right guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So what is the first things you need to be preparing for, and what steps you need to be taking in case a EMP blast was to happen, an EMP attack or a coronal mass ejection? So, very good question. This video is actually because I had done a call-in over there at Myfak TV a few nights ago, and this topic actually did pop up. One, I want to thank Myfak TV for all the support they have shown our channel and our community here. We've got a lot of Fugle family right here in our community, so definitely do appreciate you guys being here. This is a topic that he himself even said not many people are talking about, and he's right. Is right. Now when it comes to EMPs and CMEs, coronal mass ejections or electromagnetic pulse, guys, a lot of this is in theory. We can look at the history of a coronal mass ejection. We can look at the devastation that it was caused from a Carrington event level, and that was back in the day when all you had was telegraph lines. Okay, so our system today is more intricate and more fragile with the computer chips and the wiring and stuff that we have today. Now with a electromagnetic pulse, sure, there has been some studies done on nuclear explosions, the effects, the electromagnetic wave and everything that comes off of this, but we haven't actually had one like pop off, you know, here in our country. So we're trying to prepare for something like this in theory, and also, don't get me wrong, I do believe they exist. I know that these weapons do exist, but we're trying to prepare for something that we have never been through yet. So what is the first thing to expect? What do you do? All right, with a electromagnetic pulse or a coronal mass ejection, pretty much goes hand in hand, guys. First thing, grab yourself a fire extinguisher. Man, I hope you've got some in your home. That is going to be the first set of a coronal mass ejection. We are going to have a lot of fires. A lot of our homes are going to be catching fire. The surge that comes through these power lines, one, power lines are going to melt. Two, houses will ignite. Transformers, all these things, they're going to pop. These things are going to burn. There is not going to be any fire department services to come help. And even if there was fire department able to go out with a fire engine, this is something massive. This is huge. This isn't an isolated house fire in the city, which will expand into a lot worse. All right, having fires in cities and stuff, guys, everything's so compact, close together, that stuff's going to be burning from one building to the next. Fire extinguishers. Now the debate is, do you need an electrical fire extinguisher or would a regular fire extinguisher work? All right, guys, I don't know. My theory is that a regular fire extinguisher will work because electricity's gone. That's my thought process in this. I could be wrong, but in my thought process, electric current's gone. All right, this stuff's on fire. A regular fire extinguisher should work. But if you don't want to trust that, then go invest in the expensive electrical fire extinguishers. All right, that's going to be your first sign of an EMP, a coronal mass ejection. Next, your watch. All right, believe it or not, even a watch like this has electronics in it. It's got chips in it. This isn't an old wind-up job. This thing's got a battery. That right there is going to tell me, hey, something's in the atmosphere and made it stop. Watch is a good one. Cell phones. Cell phones are debatable, guy. Some studies and some people, experts on the internet, say that many of the cell phones will be okay because the circuitry is so small in their area, you know, it's all compact. Should be okay. All right, maybe. But you also need to be thinking about the cell towers. Cell towers will not be working. Those are huge ass antennas in the air. Those will be down. So your cell phone's not going to work as far as making a call, using the internet, things like that. That's not going to work. So using a cell phone to see if something major happened, well, one, you won't have internet. Two, you won't be able to make a call. So that'll be a sign. All right, right there, it gives you a sign And those are the basic signs I can give you. Now, if you're on the interstate, there's going to be a lot of cars that stop. Do I know exactly what car is going to stop? No, because there's a lot of studies and internet experts that are going around saying that a lot of the newer vehicles are actually protected better than the ones in the 90s and stuff like that. Maybe most of the new cars will run. Personally, I don't think so, but that's why we get EMP shield for our vehicle. Guys, you don't have to buy anything here. I'm just showing you what we use, what we do to prepare for a coronal mass ejection and EMP attack. That is a huge prep that we prep for here on this channel. We take it very seriously. The fact is, we're behind on the next coronal mass ejection, a quarantine level size event. We're way behind. We should have already had it. So we're on borrowed time as far as that's concerned. Now, who cares what vehicle is running? All right. The question I see all the time, if the power is out and if it's an EMP blast or coronal mass ejection, it's going to be out for a very long time. Very long. I'm talking years, not a week, years. There's no fuel for your vehicle. This is true. This is true. We as preppers, well, what we do here, we store up fuel. We store up as much fuel as we legally can in our area. Make sure you check your zoning laws and stuff like that, guys, because all it takes is one neighbor to get mad at you, snitch you out, and either you got a huge fine or you got, you know, nice little bracelets put on your wrist, accessories. Make sure you check your local laws right now. Now, during full-blown SHTF, yeah, there is no rule of law. I see that comment all the time. No shit, Sherlock. I'm talking about being prepared now, which today, if you do certain things, your ass is going to jail. So, stay out of jail, but keep on prepping. So when it comes to fuel, yeah, we have the availability to move with our vehicle if necessary. I see the comments, you're going to be a target. Yeah, no kidding. Do you think I don't already know that? Will you have to defend your stuff? Absolutely, you'll have to defend your stuff. This isn't going to be kumbaya camp, all right? You are going to have to defend your stuff. You are going to have to protect everything. And that means you will have to put somebody down. You will have to swack somebody. And no, I'm not talking about your little gameplay Xbox stuff. Taking someone's life does mess with you. Unless you're a natural born sociopath, things will mess with you in the head. I can't tell you how you prepare for something like that, because if you're trying to prepare for something like that, well, you're probably already in the hooski, okay? Just saying. Now, with fuel, okay, we keep EMP shield on our vehicle. We have fuel on hand. We have fuel for a gasoline generator. Very cheap option to do, but your fuel only going to last you for so long. Very loud. People know you got it. I get it. Fuel for a vehicle. Yeah, we keep fuel on it for a vehicle because if we need to move locations, we have the availability to load up. We can back up our giant ass Tahoe right up to our trailer, and now we have a mobile home on wheels, a mobile command bunker. That's what I call it. Yeah, I know. Pretty sad, ain't it? Mobile command bunker. This is a 6x12 trailer my wife and I live in. This is something that we use. It saves us on rent. This is how we're able to produce so much content as far as getting more preps and stuff like that. We pay $100 a month to park it, sit in it. We produce our own electricity. We tie into the well on the property. Oh, that's another thing, water. Yeah, we have the availability to actually power up the well on property using our solar. So, just to top all that off, fires, your watch, your cell phone, cars will stop. What am I forgetting? Odds are radios, shortwave radios, your little radios, all that stuff, that ain't gonna work. It'll cut out. You already know. Most people's gonna think, oh, it's just a power failure. I should just stay here and wait. Guys, when you start seeing the fires burning, and they'll start fast as soon as this happens, they will start. You already know it's either a coronal mass ejection or an EMP attack that has overloaded the grid, caught things on fire. You need to react fast, okay? You need to react fast. Now, can you go home? Yeah, absolutely. Can you go to your preps? Can you go home, lock it down? Yeah, you can, but you need to worry about that fire first. That's gonna be your biggest thing, because without water, pressure out of water, you're not putting that fire out. I mean, seriously, You need to have some fire extinguishers on hand, especially if you need to save your own home with all your preps in it. This is one of the reasons why we say, do not store everything in one location. This is why I always preach. I hate using the word preach. I'm not a preacher. I always say, get your stuff spread out. I lost all my stuff in a house fire. I know what can happen. A coronal mass ejection or EMP will take everything from you if your house sets fire. If your neighborhood sets fire, you have no way of combating that because you don't have any way of pressurizing a pump to get water out of a water hose to put out a fire. Something to think about, okay? This is why we always say spread your stuff out. Put things in the ground, put them in different locations, move your preps. Don't keep it all in one spot. And that's for many different security reasons, not just for a house fire. If you have to go on the run because you are outnumbered, you got a massive threat coming to you and there is no way you're gonna win, yeah, you don't want all that stuff sitting there. Sure, we try to keep as much on hand as possible, absolutely. And no, running away from a situation so that you can stay alive and protect your family is not a coward's way out, because you can always come back in the middle of the night because you know your property. You can start taking care of business a little bit at a time. Or you could be the, I'm going to stand on my front door and pump off rounds and, you know, I'm going to take out as many as I can. Well, you're not going to get many before they all drop you. That's just the facts. Now, one of the concerns I have seen, the comments and stuff I've seen from other people, is don't take out your electronics like your alternative power sources, your power generators and stuff, you know, your solar generators and stuff. Don't take these things out of your Faraday cages or Faraday bags right when this happens. Mainly because if there's another strike, or by the time the other waves finally hit you, it's going to happen pretty quick, unless it's a coronal mass ejection that can last a very long time. But you'll know the stuff's going on. So wait a little while. All right, this is why we have gasoline generators. Something that we can actually use right offhand and not have to get our expensive equipment out. Well, now we also have solar. Our solar is protected by EMP Shield. And I did a little installation video there for you guys. We were able to protect that, so we can always be running this stuff. But we also have backups. Being a prepper's having backups. Extra charge controllers, extra inverters, extra solar panels, extra solar cables, extra MC4 connectors. All these things go in Faraday cages or Faraday bags. You know, we teamed up with Faraday Defense on our fabric for making our own Faraday cages. And they also have Faraday bags for your small electronics, your radios, and things like that. So, something you can take a look at. Again, you ain't got to buy a jack from us. I just show you what we use. And there's a reason why I worked with certain affiliate groups and got their products. I want to test these things out. Well, unfortunately, I don't have the testing equipment to go test what will stop an EMP. Now, I've done the trash cans, put everything in a galvanized trash can and seal it up, and I could cut off a radio transmission. But that's as far as I know it's actually going to do, because I don't have the equipment to test an actual EMP against it. I've successfully used a 5-gallon bucket with 12 layers of aluminum foil and blocked out a radio transmission. Just putting a walkie-talkie and a radio playing, keyed up inside this box, inside this 5-gallon bucket, and got it to shut off as far as any reception coming out. But that does not mean it's going to work against an EMP blast. When I look at these other products, EMP Shield, Faraday Defense, they have the testing equipment. They actually give you the results of what they do. So that's what I actually go by. If I can test it myself, I would. But I'm pretty sure if I had something that created an EMP blast, I wouldn't be here on YouTube anymore. I'd be cuffed and stuffed somewhere, pretty much. Now, banks, they're gone. They're gone. You know, we did a video, should be popped up here, bartering items. You know, we showed cash, silver, water filters, things like that. Yeah, you're gonna need something for finances. I mean, the American dollar might actually still be something with that. I don't know. And we keep it on hand. I don't expect it lasting very long during an economic collapse. And I believe an economic collapse will happen shortly after an EMP. I think it's going to be seeds, food, ammo, water filters, medical supplies. That's probably going to be one of your largest currency after an EMP or coronal mass ejection. Sorry guys, believe it or not, even though the wind is blowing, it's like a dry furnace heat out here, and actually shut off the camera. So let me get back on this. So we've shown bartering items, you know, currency and stuff, because the banks, they're not going to be available when this stuff first happens. I think dollar bills will be worth something to begin with. I don't know how long, it just depends on how fast society collapse, and it will collapse. It will definitely collapse after a EMP blast or coronal mass ejection, because everything's gone. All technology's fried. Well, the majority of technology. So it's up to you. There was a pop-up video there for you guys with some ideas that we're working with. Cash, all denominations of it, silver, water filters, coffee, you know, stuff like that. I think medical is going to be a huge thing. Definitely something you want to prep up on, because they won't be manufacturing that either. If you need medication to stay alive, insulin, start stocking up. You got to have that stuff stocked up, guys, because the fact is, if they shut everything down, you're not getting it. Also, with like insulin, you need to be able to keep it cool. Alternative power. A gasoline generator, if you got a whole bunch of gas, hey man, that's going to last you a very long time. Odds are you don't have much fuel stored up. Solar generators, we've shown those. They will keep a mini fridge running. The Oupes, we're affiliated with them. We're affiliated with several different companies. I really like their products. I've been able to throw everything at it, and it's done very well. So, you know, as an option, okay? There's all kind of different solar generators. Check out our playlist. We go over all the reviews on them and stuff. We actually put these things through the test. So something like that, or a solar grid. You know, you can build a solar grid that will run a mini fridge, that can run a CPAP machine for under $1,000. Yeah, and that's constantly working. 100 amp hour batteries run, oh, I don't know, $160 right now, something like that on Amazon. That's what we use. We use a whole bunch of them though. These things last a very long time. So let's talk about batteries. All right. Will batteries be safe? Well, if you got the flood acid batteries, yes. You know, like the ones you got in your car, deep cycle marine, solar batteries like that. Yeah, they're going to be fine. An EMP blast or a coronal mass ejection is not going to bother those. When you get into those lithium ions and the little computer components and stuff like that on some of these newer batteries they got, yeah, those are gone. Those are gone without protection on them. Those are fried. So that's something else you can keep an eye on. Most people will have batteries. If you have solar and you want a bigger solar bank, hey, if you got bartering items, you can trade for some of those car batteries. Daisy chain them up. You got a power grid. It's not the most sophisticated power grid, but it's a way of producing power. Something to think about. So now, food. Food is very important, guys, but water is most important. Water is most important. You've got to have the means of purification of water, collection of water. Now, I mentioned cell phones. All right, let's say that the signals and stuff don't work. Or you had your cell phone protected, or a laptop computer protected with one of those Faraday bags or something like that. Okay, you can't get on the internet, but hopefully you've already went and downloaded and also printed off local maps of your area. You know, even using Google Earth or Google Maps and switching to topographical maps, making multiple copies of that, or streets and all that other stuff, zoomed in, you can actually see what is in your area. Now you got an aerial view of everything in your area. You have a retention pond 3 miles off. You got a natural spring 6 miles that way. You get what I'm saying? So you already know where to go to collect water, especially large amounts. Now, one of the big things we had a problem with after Hurricane Michael in this local area was people having strokes and heart attacks. It wasn't from stress. It was from collecting water and trying to walk back home with it. They were physically not fit. It gets hot down here in Florida, and there were a few people that died from it. Okay, something to think about. I mean, on our other channel, we're trying to encourage people to start exercising, working out, getting that body in shape. You're gonna have to rely on your body. You can't just hide in a hole somewhere when this happens. This is gonna be massive. You might be able to hide in your home for a little bit with your little bit of supplies or a lot of supplies, whatever, and most people will ignore you for a while. But when resources start getting slimmer and slimmer, people get desperate. People's morals are no longer there. They might need to go feed their child. They haven't seen you leave your home in a while. One, the person has perished. Or two, that person has stuff. If they're not able to do it themselves, you know, chicken shit, or smart, they'll round up a couple of their boys. Late one night, you got people coming. I know, trust me, I agree with defending your stuff, I do. But if you're not vigilant in seeing your threats coming to you, I'm like, guys, we actually built a prepper community in our neighborhood. That way, if this happens, we can lock down certain locations. We can make damn sure when a threat's coming to us, we know about it. We can prepare for it. While they think they're only hitting one house, no. They got a larger group here just waiting for them to come rolling in. And then we also have to look at the logistics on that. All right, how many's there? What type of armament they got? Can they knock holes through our walls? Well, fun fact for everybody, at 22, can go right through your house wall. I've talked about this. Your home, unless you got a brick house, it's got vinyl siding or some type of wood paneling. It's got a half-inch, usually half-inch or 3/4 inch plywood. It's got a void in between two 2x4 studs, which are centered at 16 inches apart. So you got 15 inches of something open space, which is insulation. Then you got a half-inch sheet of drywall on the inside of your home. A 22 round will go right through that. So, something to think about. I'm not saying don't defend your stuff, but I want you to be smart about it. Just because you're behind your locked door doesn't mean you're safe. Cause too much trouble, odds are they'll just burn you out. You took out too many of them, they can't take you, they're not walking away from it. Nah, because now you're a huge threat to them because you went and kicked their ass. But what do? Well, let's put it this way. If I wanted somebody's stuff, let's get in their mindset. What would I do? If I think that home over there has supplies, I know them, or I've seen them. There's only 2 people living in that house. I'd sit off. I'd watch them for a while. Learn their routine. Lock and load. Sit 300 yards off. Wait for them to just walk by the window. 1. But now, my reconnaissance says there's 2 people in there. Wait it out. They're not going to leave that body just right in there for a long time. It starts stinking up that house. They're going to have to move it. Or they're going to have to stick their head up and see where that shot came from. Or they might be one of those people that grab their gun and I'm taking everybody out and run out the front door. Boom, done. Yeah, there will be threats. So sitting still has its advantages and also does not have its advantages. If you're going to be sitting at your home, you need to be running ops all the way around. You need to know your threats, because there will be threats. Now, there are the ones that says everybody should come together, kumbaya. You know, that would be nice. That'd be nice. But the fact is, that is not how society is. That is not the nature of man in today's society. I want everybody to really think about something. If groups are willing to attack, burn down cities, attack civilians, unarmed people, knock out gangs, all this stuff, just because, what do you think they're going to do if they think that you have food? What do you think they're going to do if they're going house to house and search for food? Oh, dude, it's a dude, he seems pretty cool, we're just going to let him have his stuff. No. Really, guys, you need to be focusing on this. Fortunately for us, EMPs, coronal mass ejections, these are preps that we prep for, and it goes hand in hand with most of our preps. There's nothing any different with that. We got additional power sources, but if you're preparing for natural disasters, you probably already got another power source, okay? Something to be thinking about. One of the biggest things I always see, if you're cooking food, the masses will come after you. I live in a rural area, but yeah, people smell food, sure. Here's another thing. There are going to be a lot of people cooking outside. There's going to be a lot of people trying to cook inside. There's going to be a lot of deaths because apparently you have to tell everybody here on YouTube, do not fire up a gas grill or stove or, you know, inside your home. Do not crank up your car inside your garage with the door shut. Jesus, come on now. Natural selection is what that is. What's wrong with society? I'll tell you what's wrong with society. We have pampered so much. We have safeguarded so much. Now, everybody has no common sense. They're about dropped the big ol' F-bomb on that one. They're stupid. They're entitled. Everybody needs to be looking out for them because they're not. They're la 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 la. Oh, look, it's the moon. That's not the moon. That's a projection from DARPA. Idiots. Anyway, guys, yeah, I get heated sometimes. Make sure you're prepping. Make sure you're ready. Really start wargaming out your preparedness. Just because you got a stack of beans somewhere does not mean you're ready for everything that's being thrown at you. Are you prepared for when food is not available? Yeah. But are you prepared because food is not available? Now people are going to start looking for food inside your home. I'm not talking about the big government coming to collect your prepper cans. I'm talking about the scumbags, the marauders, the gangs, your neighbor that's been watching you. Your neighbor that you have not talked to about working with a community group because it's just too hard, CFP. You don't understand. I do understand. I've successfully built several prepping community groups. I do understand. It's a lot of work. It is. But because you did not talk to this person, they've been seeing you pull into the house, unload all your shopping bags, big old bags of rice and everything else every week. Sure, he's been making fun of you for a while, but he's gonna remember you got that stuff. All right, guys, speak to you later.